Today we're going to drill into .083 thin-walled 2x2 square tubing using two common types of fasteners. What's commonly called a Tek screw, that's a brand name. This is a self-drilling screw. And this, what's commonly called a sheet metal screw, or sometimes a self-tapping screw. I just wanted to point out some of the differences. First, I'm going to punch a couple dimples just so the tip of my screw or drill doesn't wander all over. So with a sheet metal screw, you got to drill a pilot hole. And so I'm using number 8s in both cases. And for a number 8, you're supposed to use a number 29 bit, which is in between an 1/8 and 9/64. So I'm just going to use an 1/8 because it's slightly smaller, which means I'll only get a little bit more of a bite with my threads. So I'm drilling my 1/8" pilot hole and then driving in the sheet metal screw or the self-tapping screw, because as it's going in, it's tapping the hole. For the self-drilling screw, commonly called the Tek screw, it actually has a little mini drill bit on the top of its threads, and so it's going to drill its own pilot hole. For the self-drilling screw, all you have to do is drive right in. So just in my experience, a couple pros and cons. Because there's no pilot hole on the Tek screw, you need to drive with a little bit more torque, and so you commonly see them with hex heads. The problem with this is if you don't have a real steady hand, your pilot hole drilled by the screw itself could be a little bit big because of wobble, and then your threads are more likely to strip out. At the same time, because you don't have to drill a pilot hole, they cut the time in half. And so practically I use these whenever I can. But oftentimes I can't. For example, here I am putting on these little casters for a machine, but the clearance is not big enough to really grab and torque the hex head of a self-drilling screw. And so I'm just going to use a sheet metal screw, and it's going to work just fine, but I'm going to have to make a pilot hole. So let me know if you have any questions. These are what you would use on thin-walled. Remember, if you had something thicker like a 1/4" plate or something, you'd be drilling and tapping and then using a machine screw.